Hello there. Good evening to you all. This is Equinoxe Television. On the 12th of August 2023, it went viral on social media when a lady coming from Nigeria had a transit that was at Mayemen in Guti subdivision, Kopemaninguba division of the Southwest region. Her name, Antonia Madu Obianuju. She was coming back from Nigeria after supposedly giving birth to NONUPLETS, whom, according to her, were all done through the normal way. Equinoxe Television, after following the happenings here in Cameroon, decided to go further beyond this story to get more facts concerning where this lady said she put to bed. It was on that reason that Equinoxe Television had to travel to Nigeria to gather more facts from the General Hospital in Equita. And the report that will be following coming up is a report to tell you what Equinoxe Television did from the time we discovered this lady till when we traveled to Nigeria. The upcoming report will definitely tell you what we had as information on this unclassified file, which is the first of its kind on Equinoxe Television. On the 12th of August 2023, a video of a woman who had reportedly given birth to 9 children at once went viral on social media. While in Mayemen, in Guti subdivision of Kopemaninguba division, Southwest region, she attracted the attention of inhabitants who were anxiously fighting to see the lady and her 9 children. A private media organ in Douala later reported that the woman gave birth in Mayemen. Another report later said that she was delivered of the NONUPLETS in Limbe. The Southwest Regional Delegate of Public Health, whom we visited, denied that such a thing happened within its zone of jurisdiction.
The NONUPLETS that I gathered also, like any other person, was done on social media. Social media direct messages into my phone, and also on general platforms that persons have published the discovery of a woman through Mayemen in the Southwest region, whom they found with 9 children, and was posted on social media. One of my directors also in Yaoundé had to call my attention for me to give an authentication of whether the element is true or false. We have a platform, we have a database that every health facility, every district reports to the region and to the national level regularly with respect to activities that take place in their region, in their different districts and facilities. So when I got this information, the first thing was to contact, because Mayemen, the health facility, was a Presbyterian. I had to contact the Presbyterian Secretary of Health for him to give me a report on that activity. Fortunately, immediately he responded and contacted the administrator of the health facility, who made an administrative report of which I have a copy. And that administrative report was very clear that there was not such, that they saw somebody who was passing by in a bus, and people claimed of the 9 children, but he, as the administrator, never saw the bus and never saw the children.
According to the Southwest Regional Delegate of Public Health, the only hospital that could oversee the delivery of NONUPLETS is the regional hospital at my one in Limbe.
I received but another report from a very popular TV station that did not talk now of Mayemen. They said this woman, and filmed the woman with the children, that this woman gave birth in Limbe. I said, but all this is Southwest. I don't have them in my database, so how come? So I had to call the only hospital in Limbe that can, if possible, permitted the delivery of such number of children should be regional hospital in Limbe. So I had to call the regional hospital director and to give me a report. And he also made a report, of which I have, to indicate that none of such had happened in his hospital. Same, I called the chief of the health district of Limbe, who also debunked that information. So with all these elements, I just had to send out a press release to be very clear that I've not had any of such NONUPLETS in my region, neither from my daily, weekly, quarterly platform of report of information, that of activities that happens in the different facilities and different districts.
As we continue digging facts about the situation of the NONUPLETS, it became more and more complicated, with a lot of contradictory information from different sources.
Yes, because we came back last week. So this morning I was preparing to go and meet one of our family pediatrists, so that he will be coming and be checking them up. Yeah, it's okay. He will be coming and be checking them up, doing checkup every. So I'm about to go before you people meet me.
At the residence of Antonia Madu Bianuju at Cité de la Paix neighborhood in Douala, she told us that the children weren't delivered in Cameroon.
Yeah, I put bet at Nigeria on March. Yes.
March of this year?
Yeah, March this year, 23 March.
So tell us, how did it go? How did it go?
Yes, I gave birth to Nigeria. The three of them are not okay. The five of them are not okay. 4 is okay. The 5 of them are under incubator. Yes. So they stay at incubator up to 3 months. Yes, before they discharge us that we can go. We can travel now. Yes, that's why when we are okay, yes, we came back to our normal base at Cameroon, because we live at Cameroon, Douala.
In the medical corps, doubts were raised about the declaration of Antonia Madu Obianuju, who said all the 9 children came out normally without cesarean section. Another curiosity is that when Equinoxe TV asked for the picture of the mother when she was pregnant or after she put to bed, she gave many excuses and never sent the pictures. As we continued fact-finding, we noticed no media outlet in Nigeria and beyond were aware of the 9 kids, which could have been a great news for national and international audience. As the days goes by, several reports on media organs in Cameroon continued casting doubts on the 9 kids story of Antonia Madu Obianuju. In our quests for facts about the NONUPLETS, Equinoxe TV sent a team to Nigeria. Amid downpour, the team landed at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, economic capital of Nigeria. After fulfilling some formalities, we took off for Akwa Ibom State. After about 2 hours flight, we touched down at the Akwa Ibom Intermediate Airport. Hello, you're welcome to the Victor Atta Interim International Airport of Oyo in Akwa Ibom State. It is in this very state, and particularly in a local government area known as Oron, that Madam Madu Antonia Obianuju purportedly gave birth to NONUPLETS. Equinoxe Television decided to descend to Akwa Ibom State, south of Nigeria, to verify the information. And of course, from the airport of Oyo right down to Oron is about 60 kilometers ride, and Equinoxe Television is going to render the final judgment on this issue. This is Oyo by night. It is the capital of Akwa Ibom State. From here, we had to take the road. A drive of about 60 kilometers finally took us to Oron, one of the local government areas in Akwa Ibom State. In Oron, we visited this beach, one of the busiest areas from where people travel to Calabar and Cameroon by sea. Because Obianuju did not give us details on how she got to Cameroon with the children by land without being intercepted and questioned by security forces, we decided to come here in a bid to know if she used the sea route before continuing later on land. Our interactions with the people here were not fruitful because they would not open up on the issue. As we left the Ohon beach, we took the road again to discover the hospital where Obianuju said she was delivered of the 9 children. This is the General Hospital in Equita, where Antonia Madu Obianuju said the NONUPLETS were born. The director of the hospital received us, but after a brief discussion, as we introduced ourselves as journalists from Cameroon, he became skeptical. He then said that he could only tell us whatsoever we wanted to know about the hospital if he is permitted to do so by his hierarchy. He later accompanied us back to our vehicle and kept watch over us as we left the hospital premises. Our presence in the health facility had apparently become very disturbing. We moved away from there to meet with a source who works for the hospital. She requested for anonymity before revealing to us that no such delivery happened at the General Hospital, Equita.
I myself are working there. Never really see as the person born 4. Not talk of the 9 where we talk. This thing happens that we want to sponsor the hospital. Nobody born 9. For this is why we stay.
She added, the last time a delivery of more than 2 happened in the hospital, it was triplets. This puts question marks on this birth certificate said to be delivered by the General Hospital, Equita. When we presented the document to our source, she made us to understand that it might be faked.
Has she shown you that birth certificate? Have you seen it?
No, yours the
Okay, they should show you the birth certificate because it is from there that we realize that it is here, it is in Equita.
I think when you're the director, they go meet the secretary. This they want to happen. Even the person they do this thing.
Now fake me.
Now fake now. Why this thing go reach the hospital? Superintendent see this thing, our secretary. That person won't put himself in trouble because he just do this the 70th where that thing don't happen for the general hospital. It never happened. You just carry this certificate. It seems that the person where they wrote this thing, their hospital now go no.
In Nigeria, where traditions and cultures are of paramount importance and given due consideration, children are a source of joy and blessing to parents, extended families, and even entire community. And so, whenever a child is born, talk less of twins, triplets, or NONUPLETS, the news goes round the community. But when we spoke to some natives of Orong about the NONUPLETS born in their community, they were amazed and wondered aloud how such a news could be hidden.
As a native of Orong, I have not heard or seen of anything like that. No woman has given birth to 9 babies, at least not for the past years, none that I've heard of. If you give birth to 3 babies, the government officials would surely show up for you. I don't even think a woman would give birth to 9 babies in that hospital and they'll just let her go like that. She'll stay in Akwa Ibom and she'll be celebrated for a certain period of time. So many bloggers, I've not even heard one blogger in Akwa Ibom talking about it. So definitely it didn't happen. It didn't happen here. It didn't happen in Equita. It didn't happen in this hospital.
We continued nosing for facts about the NONUPLETS in some local media outlets in Oyo at Inspiration Radio, which has a slogan, your number 1 family radio, a radio that deals mostly with family-related issues in the society. The chief of programs told us with amazement that she wasn't informed about any set of NONUPLETS in Orong.
People don't go in and give birth to 9 kids, right? Now, we've talked about it, but we might not have probably gone to visit the woman, do the video, do the investigations and all of that. We've talked about it in the health angle. At least the doctor comes in to see how possible it is for someone to give birth to 9 kids at the same time, and the medical thing behind it and all of that.
We met another Ohom-based journalist. He is a blogger with a huge followership in Akwa Ibom State and beyond. His main focus is news within Akwa Ibom State. We contacted him from Cameroon, but before arriving in Nigeria, he had already done his investigations on the issue, which, according to him, was supposed to make headline news within Nigeria.
Then my further investigation was, I had to ask more and more to be very sure, because passing out information without going for proper investigation, it might lead to misunderstanding and a lot of issues will come in. Yes. So first of all, you need to be well prepared and have a full details of what you are offering out, because a lot of people are there waiting to listen to this. So I moved further, making more investigations. I contacted about 3 more people. They still give me the same information that such incident has not happened in the hospital.
Based on his investigations, he suspects that the NONUPLETS story could be another case of child trafficking which has been rife in Nigeria as a whole. We are told by several persons in Ohom that child trafficking is rampant in that part of Nigeria. More than 20 cases of child trafficking were reported in the Oron local government area between 2001 and 2003.
My question now today, hospital to Equator General Hospital, is how possible did this woman move from Equator General Hospital in Oron without nobody seeing the baby, or without nobody having idea of how the baby was moved, and based on the information, based on my investigation, no one has heard of it.
The news about NONUPLETS didn't make any headline for neither TV, radio, nor online news outlets in Nigeria. It was in the month of October that some bloggers in Nigeria break the news about a Nigerian lady who welcomed NONUPLETS months after Obianuju said she was delivered of the babies in March 2023. The sites that reported the issue used the picture of this pregnant lady, who is not Antonia Madu Obianuju. After several reports on Antonia Madu Obianuju on the Cameroonian media, on August 21, 2023, the Nigerian consul to Douala and Bafoussam paid a courtesy visit to the Madu's family. Asked if they are sure that the children were of the said family, she said,
"Well, my dear brother, it is an act of God, force majeure. It is what they call force majeure, human reasoning. It is an act of God. So we cannot explain that."
To medics, the fact that Antonia Madu Obianuju gave birth without a cesarean section is questionable.
Au cours de l'accouchement, il y a des contractions de l'utérus.
In the course of putting to birth, there is contraction of the uterus, and the contraction of the uterus occurs on an organ that from the start is very small. Throughout the pregnancy period, it grows, and as you labor to put to bed, painful contractions will make the uterus to be very fragile, and sometimes the uterus will tear. It is a big risk having kids directly. Another aspect is the weight of the children. If the children are so many, normally they will be very small in size. Since she delivered in 7.5 months, the children are premature. So when the children are delivered normally, the children are weak.
Lorsqu'on fait un accouchement par voie basse, on fragilise les bébés. Le risque de souffrance fœtale chez les enfants, c'est quand même assez élevé.
This case that we are having here in Douala, I think this is a history-making case, because I've even learned that this mother delivered normally. Usually, births like this are through cesarean sections.
So this mother to have delivered normally all the 9 children, I think it's a world history-making event.
The second worry raised by the doctors is the silence that characterized the delivery of the NONUPLETS. The case many know in the world is that of Malian woman Alima Sise, who had 9 kids through cesarean section in Morocco. From every indication, the case of Antonia Madu Bianujo remains mysterious to the scientific world and needs more research on her case.
C'est quand même des faits inédits. C'est pas tous les jours qu'on va voir une femme qui va.
It is an unusual happening. Not every day we meet women who can deliver 9 kids, so we need to do more research on the physiology of the human, on her uterus and more. What type of uterus is capable of keeping 9 kids and pushing out all without an incident?
Ça, on se pose quand même des questions sur cette femme-là.
What is so specific about this woman? Where does she come from? In their community, are twins common, and women support such types of contractions? Are the questions to be asked?
Voilà les éléments qu'on recherche dans ce genre de situation. C'est clair que ça fait l'objet quand même des recherches. C'est une curiosité, c'est vrai, dans la population, mais c'est sûr dans la communauté scientifique.
We try to get more facts to ascertain if Obianujo and Madu Anthony are the real parents of the children from Nigerian authorities, to no avail. Those who spoke to us said it was a private matter, and this has contributed to sustain the already existing doubt about the NONUPLETS. That was the story of Madu Obianujo, who gave birth to NONUPLETS, and the investigation that Equinoxe Television carried out was for us to understand the whole matter. This special edition of Unclassified Files has as first guest Barrister Edward Lyunga Ewule, who is barrister at law and at the same time human rights lawyer based in Boya. He will be joining us already. He's already on set. Hello, Barrister. Good evening.
Good evening, Smart Jikang. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and I'm very honored to be the pioneer person to be on this program on Unclassified Files. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very excited to be part of this very wonderful story. I think we are going to dissect the issues, looking at all the cons and the tons as far as this particular program is concerned.
All right, Barrister, maybe the first question we want to find out from you. You watched the story. Maybe your first appreciation that you make from what you just watched as the little work Equinoxe Television did for the audience.
Thank you very much. I am a lawyer since 2014, called to the Supreme Court of Nigeria and Cameroon, and I'm a lawyer who studied in Nigeria, and I've had so many cases, criminal matters, we have had cases of child trafficking, and my first appraisal is that there are so many things that need to be clear as far as this particular story is concerned. The first thing I would like to say is that she said in a viva voce exchanges with you that the children were in an incubator, 5 of them, for 3 months. If 5 children are in an incubator for 3 months, I think it's going to be a story that the authorities will come in to assist. Now, you have 9 children. What is her source of income? Who has been taking care of those children? You know, all of these things are still closed. Secondly, looking at her size, we have had cases, I don't need to be a medical practitioner, but looking at her size, most women of that size and of that age, most of the time, they have difficulties to give birth normally. Most of the time it's through cesarean section. So looking at this, there are a lot of things that you can see that things are not clear. And with that, it is time for the judiciary to come in to give clarity to these issues. And that is why we have the judiciary. That is why we have the Attorney General of the Littoral Region. That is why we have the Minister of Justice. I think this is a case where we can see few elements of trafficking. And the Cameroon law punishes case of trafficking. If you look at law number 2011/024 of 14 December 2011 relating to the fight against trafficking in person and slavery, it has put down, if you look at that law, and if you look at section 342 sub 1 of law number 2016/007, that is the law of the penal code, it all punishes issues of child trafficking. So looking at it very clear, it is clear that there are issues relating to trafficking of persons. It's very clear that you see that there are issues of trafficking of persons. And most of the time, if you saw the other report that people have been giving on this, let us look at the definition of trafficking of persons per our own Cameroonian law. We're talking about law number 2011/024 of 14th of December 2011 relating to the fight against trafficking in persons and slavery. If you look at section 2 of that law, it defines what trafficking of persons is all about. It talks that it is defined as the fact of promoting the movement of persons in and out of Cameroon in order to obtain either direct or indirect financial benefit or other material benefit of that nature. If you look at these cases, you have 9 kids. Very soon you will hear of people coming to take the kids and selling kids, and all of these things are things that happen every day. And you see that based on this law, you will see that there are issues that are not clear. You will see that this lady, if you look at it, if investigations go on very closely, you will see that she has surely bought these babies from Nigeria and brought them to Cameroon, and with the intention of maybe selling them or some things like that. So you see that is exactly what is happening. And the law that punishes trafficking of persons, because the 2011 law just gives the definition and other issues as far as trafficking of persons is concerned, but the law that punishes trafficking of persons is the penal code. That is law number 2016/007 of 12th of July 2016 relating to the penal code. If you look at it, section 342 sub 1 sub 2, it says whoever engaged in the trafficking of persons and slavery shall be punished with imprisonment from 10 to 20 years and with a fine from 50,000 to 1 million. It goes on to give other categories of persons who can be punished with imprisonment from 15 to 20 years and with a fine from 100,000 to 10 million. And it says that if you look at sub G of that law, it says if it's a gang syndicate, because from the look of things, it shows that it's a gang syndicate. It is a whole machinery. And I think that, Smart, this is where we should have the judiciary come in. By now, I thought that the judicial police could have opened on investigation.
Because I was coming to that, Barrister. You've given us all of the laws that sanctions such stuff. Now, we have the government of Cameroon and we have the law. Where do you think till now we failed? Though she is coming from Nigeria, does the law talk about those who come in from other countries? Can the law work on such issues? When you come in, if you're suspected, because till date, we cannot say that they are trafficked. we are still suspecting. And from what you saw on the investigation we did, it is not still clear. So many questions to be answered. Where do you think the law has failed right up to this moment?
No, I don't think the law has failed. The first thing that I want to say is that if you look at Section 1, Sub 1 of the Penal Code, that's law number 2016, it says that everybody in Cameroon is subjected to the criminal law. Everybody in Cameroon except those who are like diplomats, senators, parliamentarians, those people who have immunity, every other person is subject to criminal law. If you look at Section 10 of that law, it says that every crime which is committed by a foreigner in Cameroon is punishable. Cameroon can have jurisdiction to punish such a person. Now, trafficking in person, human trafficking or trafficking, it's a crime in Nigeria and it's also a crime in Cameroon. And based on that, Cameroon can use its penal law to punish any person who is under the jurisdiction of Cameroon, who is under the territorial jurisdiction of Cameroon, geographical territorial jurisdiction of Cameroon, can be punished under that law because, first of all, you are inside Cameroon. So if there's a crime that is punishable in Cameroon and in Nigeria, and you have come to Cameroon, Cameroon can punish you. But now, let me come in for something. If the Nigerian government feels that Cameroon wants to prosecute its national, they can request to the Cameroon government for an extradition. Extradition means that since she is a Nigerian national living in Cameroon, if she has committed a crime in Cameroon, the Nigerian government, if the Nigerian government doesn't wish that her citizens should be tried in Cameroon, for one or two reasons, could ask for what is known as an extradition order. And now, the Minister of Justice, through the Attorney General, could open up an extradition procedure to see if the courts will allow for that Nigerian citizen to be repatriated back, for him or her to be tried in Nigeria. But in this case, investigations have not even started. And if you look at this crime, it's a felony. I don't think that is a felony. They have a period of about 10 years. It means that even the woman just came in October. It means that the Cameroon government...
That was in August.
She came in August. It is still within the time limit for prosecution. It means that she can still be prosecuted. Now it's 2022. She can be prosecuted...
2023.
2023. She can be Time is still running till 2032. Okay. She has the Cameroon government had 10 years in order to prosecute this case. But what we are saying is that as a sign of deterrent, we are calling on the government to be more retrospective. We are calling on the government. We have the Minister of Justice. We have the Attorney General of the Littoral Region. We are calling on them to open up investigation. Our criminal procedure code and our penal code has given the power to the prosecutor to search for offenses and prosecute them. It is a procedural, it is a power that's been given to the prosecutor. So I think that this program, it's an eye-opener following the investigations that you have done so far. Now, if you look at sub F of this law, section 342 of the penal code, sub G of that law, it says that what the government, after investigation, can take over those kids and send them for future. Can take over those kids, send them either to an orphanage or where they can be well taken care of. I don't know if this lady has the financial power. I may not know.
Well, according to what
to take care of 9 kids.
We know the husband is a big business man here in Douala with several shops. We know about that. And even the house, I'm sure you saw the house where they live. It's a well comfortable house. They are not in a tattered home per se.
What we are saying is that we need proper investigation. We are calling on the state of Cameroon to carry on proper investigation. I think that after this program, as a human rights lawyer, I'm going to put up a letter to the Minister of Justice and also to the Attorney General, that is the Procureur General of the Littoral region, to plead with him that if it's possible, let him open investigation to throw more light to this case. Because it's a case where if everybody just see that, you can just come into Cameroon with kids and do what you want, everybody will do what they want. We have had cases where children have gotten missing in La Cantini and many other places, many other hospitals where mothers give birth and they don't see their children. We are saying that the state of Cameroon is trying to fight those things. We have had cases where our Minister of Health, Madam Muda Madashi, came to Douala to solve some of those issues. So we are saying that this is a time that the government should stamp a serious deterrent measures by setting an example, carrying on investigation. How did they move from Nigeria passing to Cameroon without the authorities? No, you followed the interview from the regional delegate of public health in the Southwest. He said that he's also taken aback. You have followed the interview from medical personnel. All of them are taken aback. So we are saying that it is important for the state of, it's important for the Attorney General to open up investigation.
All right, Barrister, maybe we'll talk a little bit about the clip that you watched. We know Nigeria, so fortunate that you are a member of the Nigerian Bar Association. Yeah. And we know Nigeria is a nation that nothing can be hidden. When extraordinary things happen in Nigeria, the media, and this time around the social media, has come to make things easier. We saw, for example, when Hilda Baci was, Hilda Baci wanted to break the record, the Guinness Book of Record, in the number of hours that any person has prepared dishes. Almost every media platform in Nigeria online was on that. But now the big question, Barrister, when we look at this situation, media or social media, that is now one of the fastest milieu of getting information, had nothing about this incident. And I must confess to you, we were doing the investigation, and when many people started asking questions about these ladies, like asking some questions, I went to the lady and I said, please, can you give us your picture, the picture of when you were pregnant? Can you actually present to us some of the pictures of the baby when you put to bed in Lagos, or sorry, in Oron? Well, the woman just told us that she was sick, and later on, we never had those pictures till date that we are having this program. Now, the media is now showing some images of her. Now, when you look at all of this happening from March right up to October, that media organ started spreading the news, what do you depict himself like a barrister who has been into several cases?
The first thing I would say is that Equinoxe, you, with all fairness, you are doing a wonderful job, but I think that you should have a legal team that will help you. If you were going to Nigeria and you had a legal team, you could have had the information. Because there is a law in Nigeria that says that right to information. That was a law that we used at the time of the Naira 10. When I was privileged to be one of the lawyers for Seseko Ayoktabi and the others, in the time of the Naira 10, they were looking, during the case, the prosecution said most of these people are Cameroonians. Some of them said that they had a refugee status. So they needed to go to Nigeria to get those documents. But since it was a diplomatic issue, you know, the Nigerian government was cooperating with the Cameroon government, so they were refusing to give those documents. But now, using the Freedom of Information Act in Nigeria, they were able to use that law and write to the authorities to get information. So if you people used lawyers and other legal minds, they could have told the director of the hospital that per the law on freedom of information, you cannot deprive us of an information that is needed for public purposes. So that's exactly what happened, and that is why she just said, these are journalists, they don't know the law, and she was able to tell you that she needs authorization from hierarchy. Yes, we say, okay, we are writing you an official letter, we need information about this per the Freedom of Information Act in Nigeria, and that is exactly what's happening. That is the first thing I would like to say. The second thing I would like to say is that Nigeria, I studied in Nigeria by 2014, the social media was not like what it is today. Something like this cannot happen in Nigeria, and then you don't see, you don't get it. You don't get it. I don't know what's happening in Douala, but in Boya, if it was in Boya, our prosecutor, maybe the Procureur General could have taken this thing up. Because there is no way such a wonderful thing will happen and then the information will just be silent. The children were in the incubator for 3 months and nobody, no media heard of it until when she came to Cameroon and they saw her around the Manyeme. That was when they saw. Under normal situation, these are the things that, for me, I think that the authorities of Manyeme, that is the police, the checkpoint, they should be called to explain what happened that these people passed without you stopping them, without you investigating them. But these are the issues that we are saying. When serious things happen, they don't. But when it's something of, they are suspecting somebody of maybe a separatist, or start writing information. But these are serious issues that affects the local man down there. A mother has given birth to his child, but his child is not there. So these are the things that we need to fight against.
Now, there is another big question about the lady, the birth certificate. The birth certificate that we showed in the report that you watched with us here, the birth certificate was sent to us, and a second sense came in for us to screenshot it, and later it was deleted by the same sender. Now, I don't know, during your period of time that you studied in Nigeria, do you ever have an idea on how birth certificates are being done there? Because you remember our source within the hospital told us it was a fake document.
That is why I'm saying that all of these things can be verified. Your source is saying that it's a fake document. What makes him think it's a fake document? These are things that can be verified. The birth certificate shows, because the birth certificate in Nigeria, because when you are born in Nigeria, the hospital that gave birth, it has to be mentioned, the father's name, the mother's name, the time of birth, all of those things have to... And
it is done in the hospital.
It's done in the hospital. That is exactly what...
But the lady made mention that it's fake. Because for her, she did not... First of all, since it did not happen, she is a worker there. It did not happen. That the last time they saw many children was triplets. 9 has never happened.
No, it's something that nothing is wrong for you people to do, for the Cameroon government to open up investigation. If the Cameroon government, that is, if the criminal, the attorney, the Procureur General, in English we call it the Attorney General, through the State Council, through their judicial police or the gendarmes, if they open up investigation, they'll get to the root of this. We have very competent authority. We have very competent people in Cameroon. The only problem we have is in Asia, people don't take things seriously. But if they want to work, they'll work. If they start the investigation, they can write to the hospital through the Nigerian embassy in Cameroon. They can write to the hospital and they'll get the information within no time. And the hospital will not stop, they'll give the information. So it is not difficult to get this information. Investigation should be open to throw more light, because if it's not open, everybody will doubt what is happening. Let the investigation be open. If it is clear that it's the woman's children, it's good. Normal situation, if she's in Cameroon, the Cameroon government and the Nigerian authorities should be able to take care of those children. So, for me, I am still proposing that the Cameroon government should open up investigation. Nothing stops it. The ladies in Cameroon, we are suspecting that a crime has been committed. And so, per Section 10, they can open up investigation, even though she's in Nigeria. And per Section 1 of the Penal Code, Sub 1, they can open up investigation. And looking at Section 342, Sub 1, Sub 2, they can start investigation under this law.
Now, Barrister, you are talking about investigation, and the lady has been freely living in Cameroon, Douala, for a period of time since August that they arrived here. We've not had any information if there has been any investigation on that. Instead, we know that people keep visiting the family, happy with the wonders that God has actually done for the family. You are insisting on investigation. Can we come to agreement that there have been a little bit of laissez-faire at the end of the government concerning this issue in particular?
I don't want to really say laissez-faire, because the time for prosecution, as I said, the government have 10 years if they want to prosecute a felony.
But if between that period they discover that
evidence, you understand,
yes,
evidence might disappear and all of that, because that's exactly what you are talking about. Because at this time, it will be easy for us to get information and evidence. But if you leave it to take so long, but I think that what you are saying is correct. There have been so much lax as far as this case is concerned. That's what I say. I don't know if it's in Douala.
It's in Douala.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know whether this practice is in Douala. Because if it was in the southwest with the Procureur General that we have, investigation could have been opened. I don't know what is happening there. Up till now, investigations has not still been opened. Is it that the authorities are not aware what is happening? Is it that the Minister of Justice is not aware? Is it that... So a lot of questions need to be answered. But to lay the story to rest, let investigation be open. Let us get to the root of this matter. It will also give peace even to the lady. The lady now will be able to know that, okay, these are my children. So it will give clarity on a lot of things. To give clarity on it. And the lady could even be put in the Guinness Book of Record. Why not?
But that is what we are talking about, because in the report we talked about Alima Cissé,
yes,
of Malian nationality. She did that through cesarean section. And cesarean section was what many, particularly the doctors, you're not a doctor, but you heard what the doctor said, it is a rare case. I mean, a rare case that is rare to find. But they are surprised that the woman actually did what she did by removing these 9 kids normally, without any tear. And they said her case is supposed to be
in the Guinness Book
of Record, and they need to actually do more research to understand how
that is possible. Yeah, like what the
doctors?
No, not the doctors. The consul, the Nigerian consul,
the Nigerian consul to Cameroon.
To Cameroon, I think the Douala person said it is force majeure. I think she wanted to say something else, because force majeure is the act of God in the negative sense, but this is a positive thing. So it's like what she was want to say is that it's a miracle. A force majeure most of the time is an act of God in a negative sense. For instance, if rain falls and flood, that is force majeure. But this one is a positive thing that's happened. But so she's saying it's a miracle. You know, us Africans, Cameroonians, we believe in miracle. But scientifically, is it possible? So these are the things that if investigations are open, the investigators are going to call for doctors. They are going to call for experts. She is going to be examined. Because we have had cases where you have a counter-expert report to ascertain, because it's easy. It's easy. They will just start the investigation. She will be sent to the hospital.
DNA?
There will be DNA between her and the kids. After DNA, after the DNA, they will see if she really gave birth, because all the signs will be showing. So all of those things, it is not difficult. It is just that we need a government that is serious. We need, with all fairness, we are not in a banana republic. We are in a country, we are in a state of law, wherein crimes like this should not go unpunished. If really we are suspecting that is a crime, it shouldn't go unpunished. So what I'm saying is that it is easy. If they open up investigation, they are going to get clarity on all of this. DNA, easy. We'll do DNA. We are going to write to the hospitals. We are going to get a lot of things that are going to show. Doctors are going to be invited for the investigation, and they are going to ask their legal and their medical opinion to throw more light on this. And I think it's going to help us in further cases, so that people don't think that they can just come to Cameroon. It's a lawless country. They just come with babies, stay with them, people hail them. No, it doesn't work that way.
All right, Barrister, maybe the last part of this session, I just want to ask you a little bit of question, because we talked with the consul of Nigeria to come to Douala, the consul to Douala. When we asked about how, if she could actually ascertain that the children were of the family, she gave us an answer that when no, not that, when she saw the babies, the faces, they resembled that of the mother and father. So it's concluded that reply from the consul of Nigeria to Douala, was it enough evidence?
I would not. The consul is like me and you. We are not medical practitioners. I have had a case where a woman out of infidelity gave a man 3 kids, and everybody said, oh, these children they look like the father. But after some years, they went and did DNA, and it showed that the father was not
even the man,
was not even the father of those 3 kids. So you say resemblance, those things cannot really ascertain, cannot be a measuring rod to determine issues of paternity. What determines paternity is issues of DNA, DNA in particular will throw more light to issues. So you cannot just look at, for me, I would not blame the consul general of Douala to have said that. Okay. I saw our consul general for Boya. He was also here to welcome them. He said, I have a privileged relationship with him. So we cannot blame them. What the ball, it behoves on the state of Cameroon through its criminal justice system to clear the doubt.
All right. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is it for you this evening on Equinoxe Television. It was the first edition of Unclassified Files. It is an investigative report that we did concerning the NONUPLETS. We are expecting that authorities will carry on from where we've ended. Barrister Edward Leonga Ewule, I want to say big thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you very much. I am so happy. It's a privilege to be the first person to be on this program, Unclassified Information. Thank you.
A big thank you to all of the technicians who are on board this evening. We had Carlos Minwe, Eric Florent Watat, Zephyrin Gonji, Rafael Dipanda, we're not forgetting Dikume, Rodrigue, who all joined to make this program a success. Till then, have a nice time following programs on Equinoxe TV.